Something's gonna bring the change. Journeys we are meant to take. Something at the edge of space, calling us to fly away. Don't you be afraid, everything will change. You and I, jumping off the edge. They say dreamers never die. So come and fly, come and fly, come and fly away with me. We're rising, we're falling, we're making moves. We're climbing, we're soaring, 1,000 views. We're rising, we're falling, we're making moves. We're climbing, we're soaring, 1,000 views. Come and fly away, come and fly away, come and fly away with me. Come and fly away, come and fly away, come and fly away with me. Something's gonna bring the change. Journeys we are meant to take. Something at the edge of space, calling us to fly away.
Gaming Podcast to hit the scene. Class vs. Crass. The mastermind of this operation is Jason Levine. Class vs. Crass. With the help of his scruffy buddy, 85 to the RGT. Class vs. Crass.
Good evening, all you beautiful people, and welcome to the Class vs. Crass Gaming Podcast. I'm your host, Hey Jay. Down below, we got the Crassy one, RGT85, aka Sean.
Hello.
And to my left, we have the Smoky one, Greg. Hi, Greg.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. I thought you were gonna keep going.
Sometimes I'm inspired, sometimes I'm not.
Took a big breath in and stopped.
I was just filling my lungs, doing some yoga. If it is your first time joining us, it is a 1-hour podcast with 3 guys. I got nothing to follow up with that. We're just 3 regular guys and not enough cups. We go over all the latest in gaming. First, we go over what we've been playing for the past week, which has become a very boring segment of the show because it sounds like we're losing creativity in our gaming careers. Then we're going to get into our major headlines this week. We have a Pokemon presentation to talk about. We have the Sony State of Play. We have Squeenix announcements, and we have all sorts of miscellaneous news. So we are of no shortage of topics tonight. Thank you, Treon, for putting that together as always. And then the last 15 minutes, we keep it for the lightning round. That's where we take your questions, your topics, anything we might have missed. And we call that a show. Sound like a plan? Sound like a plan.
Yes.
Very good. Are you not tired of hearing that intro? You must have heard that over 200 times now.
Just drown it out.
Yeah, it's just noise, white noise. I'm broadcasting. I'm watching the Class vs. Crass Gaming Podcast right now on my screen. It's cool.
See, everyone thinks it's
you got
dumb.
you got the classy one, the crassy one, and you got the beautiful one. He's the man of many adjectives. I give Greg so many adjectives. Nothing sticks. One day. The mustachioid one, the bearded one. I'll find something that sticks. So anyways,
Dick Nose.
how were your weeks? Anything fun happened this week?
It's all right.
Did you call me Dick Nose?
Oh, that's my nickname.
Oh, that's not very nice.
All right.
How did your sponsorship go, Sean? Last we left you, you had an exciting adventure coming up
It's good.
with Manscaped.
Weed Whacker works well and all this stuff. So yeah, it was good.
The twins are still intact. You didn't work
Oh,
them
yeah.
too hard. Okay.
Nah.
Is it like to trim them down, or do you have like?
No, you can go straight down to the skin.
Really?
Oh shit!
Yeah, that's what I did. In the bathtub, you can do it wet or dry.
Wet too? And
Yeah.
it doesn't get caught up in the blades?
No.
Hmm.
It was pretty good.
Sounds like
I'm impressed.
sounds like sorcery.
You
Anyways,
can try it out. Use coupon code RGT.
there it is. That's the last thing I would ever want to use your name on.
I mean, I don't get any money if you buy it or not, so I don't care.
It's just I could never buy a product like that knowing it was sponsored by you, and I got it through a discount through you.
That's not very nice.
I'd be comfortable trimming my balls knowing Sean pointed me in the direction.
Well,
to...
the thing is, every time you would go for some man grooming, you would think of him, and that's the last thing, because I've heard Sean's cynical
Ain't nothing
laugh
wrong
so
with
many
that.
times, and if ever like that happened, all I would hear is this guy laughing. Not his normal laugh of like ha ha ha, but like, you know, like when his really like, you remember the Nintendo enthusiast skits, like your exaggerated laughs? That is the laugh that haunts me deep in my soul when I think of you in a negative light.
Good. I'm glad.
Yeah, it's terrible. Anyways, balls aside, what have you guys been playing last week?
Gotta
Greg.
pick someone.
Greg.
There you go.
Hey, the usual grind. Started playing a lot of ranked in Apex Legends, which has been just a shit show lately. There's the rotation for items and stuff like that, but I have noticed a lot more committed players. So I found like a new group of a couple people to play with. So at least I have, my other buddy that streams occasionally Call of Duty, and then jumping into Apex with me, and then a couple other people I've met. Been playing more of Super Mario 3D World. I actually just set it down not too long ago.
How'd you like Bowser's Ride?
I haven't gone that far. I'm what, the third world or something like
So
that.
You've seen him in his car.
In the car that you gotta like hit bombs back at and stuff.
Yeah.
And the weird thing is, like, I don't know, the boss battles seem almost too easy, like too traditional, like 3 hits and
They get a little trickier. As
Yeah,
you go
yeah. Just
along.
wait for it. Have you met
Yeah.
the snakes yet?
yeah, I just finished one where
The
there's like,
snakes with the plates?
yeah, that's one I just finished. But I am liking going back. Like, it's not so much of like the anxiety to like get everything in the level, being that it's like, challenging, but not to the point where you're like, forget this.
Until the end.
Great. I did play the Outriders demo. I streamed some of that last night.
Kind of game is that?
It's a third-person action RPG, and from I haven't played Mass Effect. I haven't played a lot of Destiny, but from what I feel like it is very much like a mix of a couple different games, like Gears of War, a little bit of Destiny, a little bit of Mass Effect, just because of the where they are, in space and travel and stuff like that. But I mean, from what I played from it, it's weird. It doesn't seem like it fits to be a Square Enix published game. I forget who the developer is on it, but you like, it's like a third person, like run and gun and cover shooter, like Gears, but then you get like these classes that you have these like weird magic abilities and stuff. So like the one I chose, you can like swipe it's like a blue blade, the first one you get, and you can like disintegrate enemies that are in your close range. And then the second thing that I unlocked is like this like bubble sphere that like freezes enemies like near you and stuff. But I'm really liking, the loot right now at least isn't like overwhelming where I'm like, oh my god, I got to drop this gun to pick up this gun. Oh, am I weighing these options like, oh, this set of boots? It's like, at least it's kind of slowly easing you into it. But I'm really liking what I've played so far, and I think it has the, like, I even started reading some of the journals, and I usually don't do that because I'm just like, fuck this, like I don't want to waste time, even if it is like background story and stuff. But I've actually found myself like interested to see like, what the hell's going on, who the characters are, because it gives them a little biography and stuff. And I really like the gunplay in it, so I think it might be one that I will pick up.
What are you playing?
I'm still I played on PC, but it was available Xbox and PS5, but I think that people were having trouble on the Xbox version. Xbox Live was down last week for like 5 hours or something like that.
That is a cool mug. What kind of mug is that?
It's a C3PO one.
That's what I thought. I was like, is that a C3PO arm? That's pretty cool.
Random arm.
Have you guys, I just want to do a little shout out to Treon's work. Have you guys seen the new YouTube banner? Look at this. This is a nice banner. My only complaint is Greg looks like DLC though.
Microtransaction.
You look like an add-on. So that's my feedback. Looks nice though. Sean, what have you been playing? Or sorry, were you done? Were you done, Greg?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
The usual. I did play some Hot Shots Racing finally because it's on Game Pass, and I was just kind of like, oh, I guess I should play this. It's pretty fun. Once you get used to the drifting, feels kind of weird at first, I think, but it's pretty fun. I enjoy it. Other than that, just the normal stuff. Nothing crazy.
Is it that the year has slowed down, or have you kind of shifted off trying to dabble into the obscure game scene?
I mean, it just depends how I feel.
I've dabbled in Blue Fire last week, which is a game with so much potential, but it's just missing that like final polish touch to it. The movement feels a little bit slippery. The combat doesn't feel like rewarding. The enemies hit you way too hard, and the game crashed on me. So I was waiting for patches to fix that, and they have released patches. And yet after 3 hours of streaming, it just crashed on me for no reason. It very much is in the spirit, I feel, of a 3D Hollow Knight, but it's missing that polish. So I really hope that they're going to keep working on it, patching it, and bring it up to speed. But right now it's a fun to play with game, but it's not a game I can highly recommend to anybody. Also lots of Monster Hunter. I have played so much. I've played 12 hours of Monster Hunter this past week through the usual stream. I played yesterday. I did a challenge stream. I did another stream today for a grind stream, and I'm playing Monster Hunter Rise again on Tuesday, and I'm just like, too much Monster Hunter. I think that's been everything I've been playing. Yeah, that's it. Right, let's get into our headlines. You guys want to do? Let's do Pokemon first. We'll do it in the Love It Like You Hate It Meh format. Starting with new Pokemon Snap. They didn't show anything new. They just reminded you it exists. Love it like you hate it or meh.
Love it. I think it looks great. It's day one. The original game is super underrated. Be a lot of fun to check out.
Didn't they announce that you could like keep snaps online or something?
Yeah, you can like share pictures and have people uprank the pictures and stuff like that.
Until they take it offline in 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Greg?
Love it. I'm glad to see the game make a return and for them to continue talking about it.
Also love it. Not sure if I'll do a day one, but it'll be an early pickup. Then we got the hotly anticipated Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl coming later this year. Love it like you hate it or meh.
Almost hate it, but I'll say meh.
Almost hate it. Why?
because I don't have any nostalgia for those games, and that did absolutely nothing to make me want to play those games. And those games are going to be $60 each, and they shouldn't be.
I didn't even think of that, but you're right, because it's a console game now.
Yep.
Shit, that sucks. I went from a like it to a meh just now. I was going to like it, but you're right. It's going to be full price. And I have no nostalgia. I've never played these.
Yeah, like, supposedly they're good games, but what I saw does nothing to make me want to play those games and buy those games. And sure, I'm sure they'll get some more announcements, some more details and stuff, but I have no nostalgia, and you did nothing to sell me on this games except, hey, it looks like a slightly better DS game. Like, no, thank you. I'm good.
How about you,
Good
Greg?
for people who have nostalgia for the series and franchise, but if you're not, you're just kind of left out in the cold.
Taking pictures of Pokemon in your new Pokemon Snap.
It's a lot better.
Yep. Greg?
I'll give it a like it just because, yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with you guys. They're like the price point, but at least it's something.
I mean, I like that the Pokemon franchise is around, and I keep lying to myself. I think that I like Pokemon, but every time I play Pokemon, I'm like, I'm not having fun with this. I got Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. I didn't, the nostalgia. By the time I got to Cerulean City, I'm like, okay, I'm over it. It was fun. I still haven't finished it. I got Pokemon Shield, and I'm like, no, there's nothing fun about this. I don't like it. And I think I just got over it. I got into Pokemon. I think it was the card game. It was, the card game was hot. The anime was hot when I was young. And I remember loving this idea of going on a journey, collecting Pokemon, all that. And when I got my hands on the game, I would imagine myself kind of like in that anime world. So that experience and that craving for Pokemon kind of went away after Gold and Silver. And then all the other games have been the same, but I'm like, I don't need to like revisit that. The anime kind of went downhill after that, in my opinion. So it just doesn't do it for me anymore.
I just hate that they abandoned the whole Pokemon Fighter thing. Like,
oh, that. There's still a very niche community going strong on that.
yeah, I wish they would give it at least the, some like the Smash treatment. Give them more characters, but
yeah. And then finally, the third and
set it up
final
to die.
announcement: Pokemon Legends Arceus, coming early 2022. Love it like you hate it or meh.
Love it.
Like it.
Like it.
It's exactly what they've needed to do. Expand the franchise, expand the series, go in a different direction, put on your big boy pants, and make a real game.
You have a lot of confidence in the Pokemon company. I think they've shown something that is vague enough to suggest they're going to give us that open world that we want, but they're going to go all Pokemon company on it, and it's going to be the most terrible way to implement open world.
It's supposedly going to be like Monster Hunter, from what I've been hearing.
You're going to drop that name around here now?
You're going to have a main hub town, and then you go out into the world and you find your Pokemons.
It's kind of cool.
You battle them. Oh, now you're changing your town again.
I'm mulling over everything you're giving me here, because it's one thing to chase down these big monsters, and there are those big monsters in Pokemon. But like, how many times are you going to go out to like, chase a Bidoof or like a little rat, like these little things? The whole appeal of Monster Hunter is you go out in the wild, you see something big, you're like, that terrifies me. And then later on you get strong enough to take it on from your own like innate leveling up as a player.
Because there's different leveling up of the Pokemon.
Yeah, but you like, that world looked super empty, and I'm not going to grade it too hard
because it's supposedly like pre-alpha. From what I heard, it was just something to show off. A lot of people think the game's going to get delayed anyways. It's not
for
going to
sure.
be early 2022.
Right now it looks like play in the grass with me. Like, they could have called it just that.
Pokemon Grass.
Yes.
There's two things I like just happened to catch about it. Like, some of the animations, yeah, you could totally tell that it was pre-alpha, it was early, but also like I didn't really vibe with the copy and pasta Breath of the Wild grass style.
I'm okay with that.
Looking,
That's That's some of Breath of the Wild's better features. That grass. I love that
I
grass.
mean, I guess.
But there was too much of that grass. There was only that grass. It
Which
has.
I think just speaks to the limitations of the Switch.
You think so? Maybe it's going to be a Switch Pro review or a Switch Pro.
No, but there wouldn't be any dedicated games on that.
We'll see. I like the idea. I like the idea and the concept, but I'm not going to get hopeful because I more believe that they're going to disappoint than meet my expectations. So I'm just going to go in with a little bit of cautiousness with my hype levels. Overall, Pokemon Direct, love it, like it, hate it, or meh?
I liked it. It was something that I didn't have any interest going into, and then they pleasantly surprised me.
I'll give it a like, yeah.
I have to say I like to that. They ended on a, ooh, what's this? Okay, let's get into the Sony State of Play. Oh, wow. That's a good state of yawn. All right. Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, getting the PS5 exclusive upgrade on March 12th, which includes faster loading times, DualSense features, enhanced 3D audio. You can also transfer your save from PS4 to PS5. Love it, like it, hate it, or meh?
Don't care.
Wow.
Meh.
I thought you liked Crash.
I do, but I don't. You don't start out a show with the PS5 version of a PS4 game that already looked great. That's going to be $60 if you buy the PlayStation 5 version, or I could buy the Switch version for $40 when it comes out on the same day.
Yeah, I caught that in your video, and I didn't know that was the pricing, and I was like,
Yeah.
that's whack.
It's a meh.
I mean, granted, you can buy the PS4 version and then get the free upgrade, but it's like, if that's the case, why even make a dedicated PS5 version? Like, it's stupid.
It's interesting. We can talk about this a bit after, but it's interesting to see Sony's strategy to move those PS4 users into PS5 buyers. And you can really see it here. It's a meh for me. I don't like Crash Bandicoot. Next, we've got Returnal, which is a PS5 exclusive, I think.
Yes.
It comes out April 30th. Third-person roguelike from the makers of Resogun. Love it, like it, hate it, or meh?
I will say, meh, almost like it. That was the best trailer that they've done by far. However, there's a problem with the game. I still don't see a $70 game.
Yeah.
This one gives me Metroid vibes, but in a meh way.
It's yes, because
it's in space.
there's so much wrong with what you just said. It's a 3D roguelike game that takes place in the third person perspective. This looks like Metroid. What?
You made it all worse. It's a big meh for me. I don't care.
I don't know. I just don't understand. Like, I don't know, something about the like the world, that it just seems redundant to me. Like, it seems a little the Evil Within, like weird, like world building, memory skipping, like alternate universe kind of thing. I don't know. It's like nothing's really like hooked me as to like what would interest me, even though I really like, the third person style games like that. But I don't know.
Yeah, meh for me.
It's like nothing's really pushed me to start hunting down a PS5. No game has really stuck out, and that was just another one that didn't.
So this one we covered it last week, but Knockout City also coming to PlayStation. Not free to play, costs $20, coming out May 21st. Love it, like a hate, or meh. Meh as well. Is it just weird? This game was like, oh, this is okay. Like in the Nintendo Direct setting, I was like, okay, cool. In a State of Play setting, it just seems more boring. Is that just me? I guess that's feeling.
It's because you just saw it, and now you're seeing it again, and it's like, why?
Maybe.
I don't need to see this again. I understood what was happening. I wasn't interested the first time. Why are you showing this to me again? That's kind of the motif that goes on throughout the State of Play presentation.
Yes.
Because, like, I don't know, like, for the PlayStation camp, it seems like they like to do, like, try to do, like, every other, like, fun, like, what's the Destruction Derby game that just came out from them? Then, there's this one, and it's like they have all these games on their platform, and it's like they're almost like doing everything they can possible to avoid making another Twisted Metal, which is something that fans would probably like, which I would like. I was a big fan of the series, and like,
Is there a reason for them not to?
the last one that I could remember being excited about was it Twisted Metal Black on PS2? But like, I don't know. I want to say that their Sony Santa Monica studio was the one that had last handled it, but it's like there's like so much time and effort bringing these titles to the platform when they could probably just do it better themselves and not, have this big circle jerk of games that were shown on other presentations that are probably going to be shown again come summertime.
Yeah.
To some extent.
I'm going to agree with Unforgiven, who says Dead on Arrival. It seems like it's a multiplayer only kind of game, which means there's going to be a heavy push, because for this game to succeed, they need to hit a critical mass of users to justify like the online costs of keeping this game running. And what's going to happen is after 6 months, they're either going to hit it or quit it, which most likely is going to be quit it. And then the devs are going to turn off the servers a year or two from now because the costs aren't worth it. Like, it's a game that continuously loses money when you do online only like this. Next, we've got Sifu. I think this was a newly announced game coming to PS4, PS5 this year. It's basically like a Kung Fu kind of game. Love it like you hate it or meh.
What is it? How does it play? What's the gameplay like? What am I doing in it? Why did he age?
Looks like you're fighting people with Kung Fu.
Like, nah, like it looks somewhat interesting, but you didn't give me anything to sink my teeth into, and any actual information on the game itself.
Yeah.
The art style I like. The combat looks cool, but I don't see how it's fun. Like, how do you pull off those combos? Is it you just push one button and he just goes do, or nothing about the game looked very satisfying.
It feels like, it could be like a beat 'em up, but then if it goes to these like slow down events, like take something like Max Payne, for example, like, the bullet time and all that stuff. Yeah, it was like a main mechanic, but does it get tiresome using it over and over and over again? Like, yeah. And I feel like if this was like that same thing where it's implemented, like the closest, like I'm with Sean on this. Like, I couldn't even peg what type of game it was or is. Like, the closest conclusion I had was like, oh, this looks like Shenmue QuickTime events. Cool.
Yeah. I'm intrigued though. So it's a meh more than I hate it. Next, from the creators of Hyper Light Drifter, they're releasing Solar Ash later this year. 3D platformer coming to PS4, PS5. Love it like it, hate it or meh.
Meh. It's going to be a super short game, I feel. We've already seen it before during the last state of play.
Yeah.
I don't need to see it again.
I didn't like Hyper Light Drifter, so when they're using that to like market, I'm like, I didn't like the first game. The difficulty curve was too high. I like the aesthetics. I like the idea it's a 3D platformer, but nothing has really pulled me in of like, I need to play it. So I'll give it a like. There's more likes right now. I'm intrigued. How about you, Greg?
Yeah, I'm between like I want to say meh, but I don't know. Like, I'm looking at it now again too, and I'm just like, I hate that, like, when it is that fast too, because like you can't really absorb, the world design. Like, your time is too busy spent, just going from platform to platform, moving forward, pushing on, and like I don't know. It doesn't. Again, it's like one of those things that it just hasn't quite interested me yet, and I don't think it will. Even though it's pretty, and it's just weird, riding the coattails of Hyper Light Drifter when like most people don't or haven't played that game, don't know what it is, and just know it just by the name alone.
Yeah. I remember that was one of the first titles on Indie Corner way back in the day, Hyper Light Drifter. Did that ever come out to the Wii U? I don't think it did.
No.
It's just fun to say.
Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, PS4, PS5 coming later this year. to PS5. Love it like you hate it or meh?
Meh.
Big meh. Don't care about Five Nights.
Maybe if I was 15, maybe.
Right. Oddworld Soulstorm, April 6th, free on PlayStation 5 for PlayStation Plus subscribers. Love it like you hate it or meh?
Meh, already seen it a million times.
I hate this franchise. I am so tired of seeing Oddworld. I looked into Oddworld the first time it popped up on Indie Corner 5 years ago. I was like, this looks like this is a remake of an old like PlayStation game. And ever since, it's always in the news cycle for the last 5 years. Oddworld is coming. Oddworld is coming. And like, I'm tuned in enough to news to see like, oh, Oddworld's coming, but not enough to understand is this a new Oddworld? Is this an Oddworld remake? Which Oddworld? And the whole aesthetic of this thing with like a taped up mouth, it's disgusting. Nothing looks appealing, and it has like a budget of a Final Fantasy game. And I'm just like, why are people still talking about this game? Just let it die. So I hate it.
It's like one of those games that was part of the foundation for the PlayStation 1. And it just like, in my head, I'm like, yeah, it must be popular to some people because people, they keep producing these games. But
somebody's buying them.
I have never met a person that said like,
neither have I.
like this game is fun, you should play it.
No one has ever been like, hey, it's a good game, or like, hey, here's my top 10, my top 20, no, my top 100 games of the year. Nobody ever says Oddworld ever. In fact, what is its Metacritic score? Let's.
I just remember Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey. That's like the only name that stands out in my head, and
it was Abe's Odyssey, Abe's Exodus.
Oh yeah,
New and Tasty. Oh, that's Abe's Odyssey.
Was it Strangle World or something?
Okay, it has pretty decent reviews. The lowest I'm seeing here is like low 70s, but it has a lot in the mid-range 80s. Maybe we need to play Oddworld.
I just don't know, like what. I don't even know anymore because I thought it was like a puzzle, kind of like a puzzle platformer, where you like move your people along or something. Fucking wrong.
They're not bad games. They're just.
Greg, you pick one, play it. I'll play the other one. Sean, you can play one too if there's enough to go around.
There's a million of them.
Oh god,
I'm sure I own one of them somewhere.
Next we got an update on Kena Bridge of Spirits, including, is this really its release date? It releases on my birthday, August 21st. Love it.
Is that a shameless plug?
About my birthday?
It was supposed to be a March release originally.
Yeah, well, I think it's their first game, so of course they're going to miss deadlines.
I think it looks really good. I definitely like it. I am a little bit concerned that it's only a $40 game though.
We'll see. I am concerned a little bit that, because these guys were known for 3D animation. Like they were known for that Majora's Mask short that went viral. And this is their first game and it looks beautiful. And I'm like, okay, well, that's their main skill. But the gameplay that they've shown looks good too. Like the fighting mechanic, I'm like, okay, this looks promising too. But will it all come together is the question right now.
I think so.
Yeah, and I agreed with Sean from his video too on that. I think it was like one of the standout games, if not the best from the show.
Yeah. And
like actually like looks enticing and I don't know. That's my question is, if everything, if they've, managed to do, the visuals and what they've shown for the combat look really polished, does that, does the price point suggest that maybe the game's short?
Potentially.
Which would be sad.
I don't know. Next up, we've got Deathloop coming to PS5 May 21st. Love it, like it, hate it,
spit out my coffee,
or F off.
Once again, I have seen this game so damn much, and it's one of those games where you see it once, you know whether or not you want to buy it or not. Stop showing me this game. This game was supposed to be a launch game that was then delayed for the PS5. Like, I don't get it.
What? It's a first-person shooter, right?
It's a first-person shooter where you die, and then you reset time, and then you do it again.
Yeah, I don't care about that.
$70.
Quite honestly, like the whole presentation probably could have been done in like a blog format
Or a tweet.
or a tweet or a series of tweets.
Yeah.
Like if you had to put Deathloop in there, and I'm sure we're going to see it again, you know, like I was saying earlier, it's just this like constant, just like rehashing of these games over and over again. I'm just, why?
Well, they gotta remind the fan base that stuff's coming. Especially they have a new console. They gotta push
But
units.
it's like getting to the point, like, you know how like they say that, you know, something's funny only 3 times. Like you make a joke about something once, twice, and then the third time, and then after that it just loses its luster. And I think this is like just like beating a dead horse. Like it's just like, why even cram it down our throats at this point? We know.
I think
Shut up.
you bring up a good point, and I think it's maybe the PlayStation 5 is not selling well. And
It is.
It is?
Yes, they just don't have any software for it right now.
Maybe it's not selling according to expectations.
No, it is.
It is?
Go buy one.
Okay, well,
Can you go buy one?
I've never tried, but I heard it's hard.
Yeah, it's damn near impossible.
The last one is Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade was announced, which is like some kind of side chapter introducing Yuffie, coming out June 10th, as well as a free upgrade to the PS5 if you already have the PS4 version. And the DLC is also free if you upgrade from the PS4 to PS5, if I read that correctly. I'm not sure about that part. Love it, like you hate it, or man.
I'm going to
What was it
say it's hard because I'm not going to play through the game again just so it looks a bit prettier. I think it's pretty shitty that the DLC isn't coming to the PlayStation 4 because it just shows how sprawled out this game is going to be, more than likely across 3 different platforms, because I don't see this wrapping up on the PlayStation 5.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like it was nice to see, I guess, but to end the presentation on it was kind of.
It's a love it for me. You guys know Final Fantasy VII Remake was my game of the year last year. Love this game. Hits me in all the nostalgia beats. Plus, it's a fantastic game. Was not expecting DLC. So the fact that we're getting, you know, a DLC, first of all, win. The fact that we're getting an old character reimagined in the remake, Yuffie, extra win. And I know that I'm eventually going to upgrade to the PS5. I just need enough chips in the game to warrant that jump. This is one of those chips where I'm like, oh, I can get the console and I can play my PS4 game that I love with some free DLC on the PS5. That's how you get me as a PS4 user to transition to PS5.
Really? Not new games?
Well, that's a part of how you do it. Another thing is when I bought Phoenix Immortal Rising, another game I love, and I was like, what do? I was able to buy it as a PS4, PS5 upgrade. So I played on the PS4. I bought the whole season pass, and it's not all out yet, the season pass. But now when I do get a PS5, that game triggers a free upgrade, and I can finish my season pass on PS5. Final Fantasy VII is also a game I want to go through on hard mode. So having it on PS5 with like boosted graphics and everything and slower load times, all of that's appealing to me. Plus, add in the fact that I'm also like, you know, Ratchet and Clank is another one I'm going to want to pick up soon. It launches around June. Miles Morales is a game I have not picked up yet because I really want to experience that on PS5. So the case to buy a PS5 is building in my camp. How about you, Greg? Love it like you hate it, man.
I like it. You know, it's giving some substance to the DLC. It's adding more story elements, and you know, it's at least giving something to Final Fantasy VII Remake fans to hold them over until whatever the next episode or installment is.
And that wraps up that state of play. I don't think we need to grade it. But the next thing is Square Enix made some random announcements. One which absolutely blew my mind. Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis. Seems like it just shadow dropped the fact that all these Final Fantasy VII properties have all been remade and are going to come to mobile, which we all know means it's going to come to Switch eventually. What is this? I was definitely not expecting this, but I love it. Have you guys played any of this? So to recap, you're getting everything remade in a new engine, including Advent Children, a movie being turned, I don't know if they're turning into a game, Crisis Core, Before Crisis, and Dirge of Cerberus. Pretty much everything I have not played in the Final Fantasy VII universe is all coming into a nice compact modern package for me to play and sink my teeth into. Super excited for that. And I don't see a reason, if this is coming to mobile, that I can't play on consoles and especially Switch. Like, this seems like a natural fit on Switch. You guys don't seem to care or have thoughts on this at all.
I don't care.
You guys aren't going to pick this up?
Say they're excited about a mobile game.
Mobile games, Jason? Really? Come on.
Forget the fact that it's running on a little screen. What if I said it's coming to the Switch with normal controls?
I would have to see it in action, but
you
I don't
did
have
see
that
it in action.
No, I would have to see how the normal controls work, because they brought over Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition, and that sucked ass on everything. So no, you're not gonna.
From what I see from the trailer, I love the style. They've kind of got like that chibi look from the old PS1 era with a fleshed up, like higher res version. They're using like little anime caricatures for like the text bubbles. It has the charm of the classic Final Fantasy games with that modern flair to it in the Final Fantasy VII universe. It's just a 7-layer chocolate cake for me.
Good for you.
Man, why aren't you guys ever excited about the stuff I'm excited about?
It's like you're trying to tell me why you like feet pics or something. Like, no, because they're feet pics.
Pics. I'm honestly just learning about this now. They also announced Final Fantasy VII: The First Soldier, which is
that the Battle Royale?
Apparently there's a Battle Royale game. I'm looking at it right now. I didn't even know. Oh, this is also a mobile game. I mean, I don't care about this.
Why? You love mobile games.
I don't like I don't like shooters. This is a shooter.
I don't care about playing on a tiny screen. Don't bother me. I'm Canadian.
Says what? I don't play on tiny screens. That's why I don't like playing Switch in handheld mode.
But you're about to play your little precious chibi Final Fantasy.
No,
VII
I'm only going to play it if it comes to Switch and I can put it on my TV.
You turned it off?
I turned it off. Figured it was kind of weird for you guys to look at yourselves. Even though that's exactly what we're doing when we're talking in Discord.
I mean, I'm not. I'm watching a basketball game right now.
Are you not looking at us when we're talking to you?
No.
Wow.
I'm watching the Knicks.
Anyways, I'm afraid that they might be overdoing it a little bit with the Final Fantasy VII love here.
Well, supposedly they're upset that remake didn't sell all that great.
Really?
It only sold like 5 mil on what, 110 mil system.
Yeah. Well, it's coming to other platforms soon.
Yeah,
I didn't even know there were foot pick models, dude.
The Xbox fans are gonna run out there and buy it, I'm sure.
Maybe. Or PC players. Fine. Let's talk about Panzer Dragoon 2 Zwei.
I mean, they haven't shown anything from it, but I'm excited for it, obviously.
I don't care about Panzer Dragoon. So this is a remake.
Wow, so the Star Fox, I love Star Fox, but you don't play Panzer Dragoon, which is essentially a Star Fox.
But don't you play as an organic beast instead of an R-Wing?
Yes, but it's like a dragon instead of an R-Wing.
I don't want to be a beast. I want to be a pilot in a cool ship.
But the gameplay is very similar.
It's about the immersion. Next up, any other thoughts on that, Greg?
No.
Monster Hunter Rise.
Not a one, Samurai J.
Hey. Monster Hunter Rise is no longer a Switch exclusive. It's coming to PC in 2022. This does not work well. I guess we're going through headlines you might have missed at this point.
I don't know. That's a great news for me.
I think that was always the plan, though, from what I remember, but I could be wrong.
I think it's great. I think they built a huge following with World on PC, and to kind of only let the next chapter be on one console, very limiting. So having one console and at least PC access, I think is great as a whole for this community.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, it's still a console exclusive. Obviously, that's a term that we've had to come to grips with when you see what Sony is now doing with games like Days Gone, which sucks anyways, going to PC. But it's not there to me. There's differences. If it's day and date, okay, that's a little different. If it's a year later, okay, that's apples and oranges to me.
A year is a big time to wait. Like if you are willing to wait a year, I feel you're not that invested in that franchise anyways.
Right.
Which is perfect for exclusives. In other Monster Hunter Rise news, Hori has announced this ugly monstrosity, which is the split pad controller for Switch. Look at that.
Have you ever
chunky
used
boy.
this?
No,
Have you ever used this? It's amazing. It's fantastic.
I saw your video. It's highly recommended by the RGT85.
Use code BALLS.
Smooth balls. Other headlines you might have missed. We've got Jet Set Radio's legacy lives on in the official trailer for Bomb Rush Cyberpunk.
I saw that. Looks interesting.
I don't know any of what that means.
Jet Set Radio is a video game, and this is like the spiritual successor to them.
Okay. Are you familiar with those franchises, Greg?
Yeah. It's like one of the games to have on the Dreamcast.
That console I never had.
Well, it also came out on the original Xbox. There was a version on there.
Also, the console I never had.
Is it a dual pack?
You can play your games on your Xbox One or Xbox Series, whatever.
Also, consoles. Can I play it on my phone though?
I want to get socked up.
Random news: Soulja Boy is back, and he's trying to make a video game console again.
I hope he waits a little bit.
Will it have Deathloop? Please tell me it will.
Did you see the Linus Tech Tip tweet to him?
Yes, I love that.
So Linus Tech Tip tweeted to Soulja Boy. He says, "Hey, I heard you're trying to make a gaming PC, and it's a picture of a PC with the name Soulja Boy written on paper and like with Scotch tape put on the side of the PC." And he just replied, "You a B." Other headlines you might have missed. Halo TV show will premiere on Paramount Plus in early 2022. I feel I've been hearing about a Halo show for 20 years now.
Yeah. I just don't like the fact that there's once again we're getting back to all these Paramount streaming service, and then there's the Peacock, and then there's Hulu, and then there's Netflix, and then Disney Plus, and anything else you want to get out there, and it's just I don't know, I just wish they were more centralized into one place where I can watch everything.
I'm surprised after the first. Sorry, I saw a comment about the Soulja Boy. I'm surprised after the first attempt at trying to make waves in gaming, we didn't see anyone, other celebrities, try to slap on their name on stuff in gaming.
Because they probably had a little more common sense.
I'd buy a Schmurder box.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Tony Hawk. Hey, I didn't know this. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 has been confirmed for 2021 Switch release.
Yep.
You would know if you watch my videos.
I would.
I talked about it.
But I would not buy Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 or 2 anyways, because I'm not a
Why?
skater. Because I'm not a skater boy.
You didn't have to be.
That was the whole point of it. It's arcadey.
Yeah.
Jason. Just when I think I know what you would like and what you wouldn't like, you say something.
Just give me some Final Fantasy 7, all right? That's all I want.
You dump on Tony Hawk, but you want to play mobile games.
I don't want to play mobile games. I want to play Final Fantasy 7 games on my Switch on my big screen. It's very specific.
Can't you just make your phone?
Oh, I could cast it to my TV. But then I'd have to play it unless I get a Bluetooth controller. Hey, you're onto something. I'm going to Frankenstein this. 2 more to go. We got Night Dive Studio adds online multiplayer to the Switch version of Turok 2. That sounds like something up your alley, sir.
Yeah, it's cool.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2 sells out in Japan following Pyra and Mirtha's Smash announcement. That's nice. That's nice. Any thoughts on that?
That's cool.
And the final little tidbit, Treon passed this on for me, but I'm going to share it on with everyone else because Samurai Warriors 5 got a Switch release date and we got special editions and we got a new trailer. I didn't see the new trailer, but whatever. Look at these beautiful collector things. You've got the original soundtrack on an old school CD format, postcard set, which will just collect dust in your collection, a wonderful cloth poster to put right above your bed, and a nice character art book, as well as some mini acrylic stands. This seems to be kind of a new trend, these mini acrylic stands. I've been seeing them in a few places. But more importantly, this comes out July 27th, when we can hack and slash our way as samurai.
It would be nice if they would have done vinyl.
Yeah, right? Like, who does CDs? Next thing, actually, there's a game I proposed as part of its marketing campaign to make a cassette.
But that's like different though. That's like
I think so. Like, I think for Celeste, that would have been a smart move because they use cassettes as items in the game, right?
it would have been dope to have a cassette that also had a USB that popped out of it that had the soundtrack on it that you can put on your computer.
Yeah, well, I would actually like do the cassette as a novelty because like if you actually have a cassette player, you could actually listen to music, but then you give them like a key so they have digital access to it. Like, I have a vinyl record of Hollow Knight back there, which I cannot play and I've never listened to because I have no vinyl player. Same thing.
Why don't you buy one? They're cheap. You can get one for like $50.
So that's the thing. I went to buy one and then I was like, let me understand the scope here. And I saw that like the higher end stuff goes from like $200 to $800. So I'm like, okay, what does this have that the low range stuff doesn't have? Like, what am I missing out on? And I'm not very musically inclined, as some of you might have seen from my latest video on Hey Jay. So I don't know if I don't understand half of anything when I'm shopping a vinyl player.
Just go to
go on Amazon and type in vinyl player and buy one for like $50 and call it a day.
But what if it sounds bad?
It won't sound
You
bad.
won't know. You're tone deaf.
Does it work that way?
Yes.
That's
You
good.
won't know how it sounds.
That's a good point, sir.
Yeah. The only
Good
person that I
point.
think would like pick something like that apart is one of my buddies that's like hardcore into like old decks and shit, and would be like, no,
There's literally one for $50 or $45 prime shipping.
Okay, but am I really going to buy a device that takes up room in my house just to listen to Hollow
It's the
Knight?
size of a small briefcase. Here, I'll put it in. I'll
Just
send
to
it to you in a
listen,
message.
just to listen to Hollow
I
Knight?
picked one up that has Bluetooth speakers in it, and
I mean,
like,
no,
I
you
get
could-
to it before.
You could get other vinyl records too if you want.
That's a slippery slope towards addiction. I mean, I've already got Spotify and I've got my nice little Google Home Play that's nestled in my couch, so I can like.
Why
play
are
my
we
tunes.
talking about this?
Because we're friends and we share stories about each other. No, I thought we were friends.
Cheers, mate.
It has a safety device built into it.
What safety? So the disc doesn't fly off?
Vintage speakers, comes in a little handheld briefcase thing.
The thing is with the vinyls, I love the art. There's so many indie games that have fantastic artwork on those vinyls. I could buy easily 50, but they go for like 60, 70 bucks a piece. It's like buying another game. But then just like I'm trying to like picture when would I ever actually use it? Like, do I just like walk down the stairs? I'm just like, today's a fine day to put on a nice vinyl, or
Put on
I
a
bring
record and
I
go about
bring
your
someone
day.
home and it's like, hey, let me set the mood. Just put like the Hollow Knight soundtrack in, and it's like the boss battle. Hollow Knight and chill. All right, start your lightning round.
Did I listen to Jace? I listened to a little bit of his singing.
I commend anyone who could make it through that video. I tried to re-listen to it and I can't get past a minute.
It wasn't very good.
I tried for 3 hours to open up my vocals and to get some tones, and then I'm just like, screw it. I can't save this. Let's just run with it.
What's the word on Panzer Dragoon remake release date? Also anywhere? Saga. Okay, that's a lot of questions. Physical, I'm sure they will because they do it internally now. Forever Entertainment does it. Release date, I have no idea. Saga would have to be reverse engineered because the source code is missing in action, but it is possible. Do we think a Game Boy or Game Boy Family is getting announced this year for Switch Online? I do believe so. And that does make good sense because of the Pokemon stuff, because that was one of the biggest franchises, if not the biggest franchise, on the Game Boy lineup of systems. Dunk that. Good job. What games do you plan? Which games do you plan to get the physical games? I don't know what you mean.
Are you planning on buying any physical releases soon?
I always do. I prefer physical.
Darksiders Genesis was like $12 at GameStop. I picked that up physical.
Switch?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
We need some recommendations for Jordan. Game recommendation to start this week. Just finished Trials of Mana. Something I can finish fairly quickly in less than 20 hours.
Did you play Ghostbusters, the video game? Probably not. So you're going to play Ghostbusters. Because it rules.
Trying to think of other RPGs.
He didn't say RPG per se. He just said game.
They just finished Trials of Mana, though, so I assumed RPG.
You know what happens when you assume.
Make an ass of you and me.
See, there we go. The Ghostbusters remastered game. What games am I picking up in March? A lot. I need to remind myself of what to buy. I know I've already bought some of it. Like I've already bought Monster Hunter and shit. But yeah, there's a bunch of stuff.
Have you ever
I want to cover
completed
a lot of it.
a Monster Hunter game?
No.
Greg, you buying anything in March?
Yeah, I'm definitely in for Rise. And what's funny is I saw a commercial for Balan Wonderworld the other day, and it looked so much more exciting than.
Don't fall for it.
But I was like, I don't know. I'm still on the fence. I might pick it up just for novelty. I don't know where I stand with that game. I mean, everything I played so far looks kind of yucky, but
it's a yucky game.
Have I ever played the Soulsborne series? If so, have I played? No, I haven't. I haven't played any of those. I don't like games that are based around difficulty. Like, it does nothing for me.
Did you play Cyber Shadow, though?
Yeah, but that was different type of difficulty.
And Bloodstained, Curse of the Moon 2?
That wasn't super hard.
Yes, it was.
Favorite fighting game or series for each of you? Street Fighter.
Smash.
I always love Street Fighter. But there's something about Mortal Kombat, the nostalgia for me.
The thing about Mortal Kombat is the series has changed so damn much. Like, you can play Street Fighter 2 and then play Street Fighter 5 and still be okay in Street Fighter 5. But, like, if you play Mortal Kombat 1 or 2 and then you got to play the new one, it's like night and fucking day.
Did I ever tell you guys I did show and tell in grade 6 with Mortal Kombat? I used to draw, and I went and show and telled all my Mortal Kombat drawings. Did you guys ever have that at school, show and tell?
Yeah, probably, but I don't remember it.
Oh, it was eventful.
Yeah,
for me.
I remember one time I brought in these like pins from my grandpa, like accumulated from way back when in the wars and stuff. Because I never met him; he was already passed away when I was growing up. But like, people were like, "What is that? That's stupid!" And the teacher was like, "That's not stupid." And I was like, "I thought they were cool, but
man, bunch of jerks."
Jay, are you doing any 3DS Monster Hunter streams?
Maybe eventually. Let me get through Monster Hunter World, then Rise, then Generations, then probably 3DS.
Am I going to review Balan? I don't know. I might. How am I going to fit the X-Men Arcade 1-Up in my house? I'll just put it in the kitchen or something if I have to. I don't give a fuck. No, I need the fridge.
No, you put it next to the fridge.
Have you been keeping up with the Evercade? Is it still goodbye? I think so. They're still adding in a bunch of more systems. They announced like an Intellivision collection if you like shit like that. There's some more stuff that they're announcing too. I think it's a good buy. Any interest in triangle strategy, and has anyone played Bravely Default 2? I think triangle strategy looks cool. I didn't play the demo though. I'm honestly not that interested in Bravely Default 2.
I was interested in both of them. The demo I was gonna do, I want to do it on stream. Bravely Default 2, I have to have a certain itch for that, which I'm just way too busy right now with everything going on. How about you, Craig?
What was the question?
Bravely Default 2, any interest?
Oh, no.
Okay. Not his cup of tea.
Definitely not.
Will you be doing a Monster Hunter Stories 2 on Switch stream?
I thought I answered that already.
No.
Oh, it was on
Stories
Switch.
2 is the action RPG.
I'll have to look into it. I honestly don't know much about it, so I'll have to look into it.
Stoked for the Mortal Kombat movie. I think it looks pretty cool.
Does look good. Gonna have a watch party. If only we could. Oh, we never got around to this. I think we're all done the questions, right? Just a quick comment.
Yes.
Although you didn't agree about the Sony looking desperate to kind of push PS5s. Didn't you think that, this late state of play is just like they're just trying to put as many things as they can to get people to go over PS5? Like it seems a little bit more.
They're not pushing the PlayStation 5 that hard because you can't buy a PlayStation 5 right now. It has nothing to do with the sales of the system. The system is actually out. I think it was like between the hundreds between the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 initial sales of it. The difference is the availability. You could easily get a PlayStation 4. You cannot easily get a PlayStation 5. It has nothing to do with anything. It just has to do with the fact that you can't buy a Series X. You can't buy a Series S. You have to stock online. You can't just walk into a store.
You can't buy a graphics card either.
Right.
Yeah, and then I saw another thing that one of the places, actually one of my good friends used to work there, the Samsung Semiconductor in Austin. It's like that's where a lot of these chips are made for iPhones, and it was brought up in the news because the president was talking about it for hardware availability. But they were also hit by all the Texas power outages and freezes, so that just further created problems for limited availability of hardware outside of the pandemic. So I think there's just availability in general sucks.
Yeah. RGT, do you play COD on PC?
No, Xbox Series X.
You got
I like the new map.
You got a gaming PC. Do you play anything on that?
Nope.
Wonderful. All right, we're going to be wrapping it up there. Anything fun this week for you, Sean? Anything you're looking forward to?
I don't know. I took the last 2 days off, so I guess tomorrow I better do something.
Wow, vacation time. Congrats.
There's just nothing going on, nothing I felt like really talking about. So
fair. How about you, Greg?
I think my first guide should be out, like I was saying before, PC Invasion for Caustic, especially for Switch players coming up here with the launch. Been trying to do a little bit more on Twitch just in general. Twitch.tv/Dynamite_Giraffe. Should have some additional logos and artwork finished this week. So looking forward to that. But I might do it on my Instagram. I don't know. My family sent me they were like, "Oh yeah, your birthday stuff's in the mail. It's in the mail." And I'm
Wait,
like,
what's your birthday?
It was in January.
Oh, okay.
Well, thanks. And I was like, I haven't seen shit. You guys are lying. And so they're like, no, it's coming. And I was like, no, I have not seen anything. And they're like, I kept asking, what did you send? Turns out they sent me some Loot Crate, the Loot Gaming boxes. And so they all arrived a couple days apart. I haven't opened them yet. So I was thinking about maybe doing that on my Instagram or maybe doing it on stream or something. But
or a fleet on Twitter.
What the hell? Oh yeah. I was like, what the hell's that? But I mean, I have 3 of them thus far, and I think there's another one coming. So if you're interested in that, maybe I'll do it on my Instagram or something. At Dynamite_Giraffe, I think there as well.
Very cool. Over on Hey Jay, there's your usual drip of content of Monster Hunter stuff, as well as the occasional review of whatever I play. This week, it's going to be Monster Hunter heavy. We're doing Monster Hunter Rise demo revisit on Tuesday over on twitch.tv/HeyJayOfficial, followed by a progression stream on Thursday. And I'll probably be taking next weekend off from streaming to kind of recalibrate from all the streaming I've been doing. Might be a surprise stream to do Project Triangle just because I'm really curious about that and I want to try that demo. So that's all we have for you this week. Otherwise, we'll see you next week, 8 p.m. Eastern time, same channel. And until next time, keep it classy, or as Sean would say.
Keep it crassy.
Or as Greg would say.
A little bit of both.
Have a good night, everyone.